The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
Just read a story yesterday. Amazing story. I'll share it with you. There was a young man living in a house, his wife. They lived there for 17 years. An apartment and a house. One day, while the boss comes to notify him and tell him that he's selling the house, and the new owners are going to throw it down and build up a big apartment house here. So I'm giving you a heads up to start looking around. He started looking around, the guy. One day he went to shul. On his way out of shul, he's on his phone, calling a realtor. This, you heard about an apartment. You know what about an apartment. And finally the guy's talking on his phone. He's a little caught up. Suddenly he sees the light turn red. So he slams on his brakes. But the car, instead of stopping, started to do a little wiggle and waggle. It danced a little bit. And before he knew it, he couldn't stop the car. And suddenly he looks up and he sees right in front of him an elderly couple, and his car is going straight for them. Bam! He hits him straight head on, 2 bowling pins, a strike. Oh my gosh, the guy is now looking, and they're both dead. Guy feels like dirt and lower than dirt. At first the cops let him go. A few days later, they came back to him and they gave him some charges. Vehicular manslaughter. Because a witness came forward and said that he saw you going into that red light, not stopped. You slammed on the brakes a little too late. So that means to say you were discombobulated, you weren't focusing. So you caused this death. And then started a whole court case. And the prosecutor laid out the case very, very well. Established the facts, what happened. And he made the guy look very guilty. Couldn't lie to the guy. Couldn't say I wasn't playing on my phone, I couldn't this. I wasn't, I had things on my head that I didn't realize. Then his lawyer got up. And his lawyer said some information you don't know about. And that is that a few days ago, there was a truck that had a big oil spill right in that corner. And it's not cleaned up yet. You can go there and you can see it. And this guy hit that oil patch. So it wasn't that he wasn't stopped. It wasn't his fault. The fact that there was an oil patch there, that was beyond his control. He wasn't responsible for the oil patch there. The judge heard the case, and they acquitted him totally. But the guy came home, and the guy felt terrible. The mice, he took 2 lives. He was happy he wasn't in jail, but he caused the deaths of 2 older people. So he was very not in a good frame of mind. He decided he's going to write Reb Chaim a letter. So he writes Reb Chaim a letter. Reb Chaim, B'tzidkusei, writes him back 1 word. Reb Chaim used to answer approximately up to 300 letters a day. Short, and sweet. Anyway, he sends this guy a letter, and he writes on the letter, Ayin Mem Lamed Kuf. And the guy is trying to figure out what in the world does Reb Chaim mean? Ayin Mem Lamed Kuf? What's the answer? I should feel bad, I should feel good. He went to his Rav, he went to others. Could you tell me what? I wanted to see what Reb Chaim's writing. I had no idea what he's talking about. A little while later, he had to get out of the apartment. His real estate agent calls him up and says, there's an apartment available, came up. Decent apartment, I want you to come. So they move into this apartment, they go into, the realtor shows them the apartment. And the realtor, they're looking around and he sees a picture on the wall. Looks at the picture again. It looks like the guy we ran over. The guy sits down by the desk, pulls out the drawer, and he sees right there a younger version of that guy in an army uniform. But it wasn't an American uniform. It was a Nazi uniform. And on the bottom it said, Treblinka, 1942. Most of his family was destroyed in Treblinka. Almost all his family was destroyed in Treblinka. Chaim wrote the guy back, Amalek. Don't feel bad. He did a mitzvah. He got rid of Amalek. How did Reb Chaim know? That is mind-blowing. Reb Chaim was definitely a tzaddik that did not have 2 feet in this world. He definitely had 1 foot in this world and 1 foot in the upper world.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org